My name is Tiffany, and I'm the dyer maker behind Latah Valley Fiber Co. On today's episode, I talk about dyeing with mulberries. If that's something you're interested in, let's get started. Thank you for joining me today. It's September 7th, and 2023. And on today's episode, I'm going to talk a little bit about my Potomac Worsted Cardigan, the progress that I've made on that so far, as well as some finished socks. I'm so glad that you all could join me today. I'm going to talk a little bit about some finished objects. And unfortunately, I don't have any physical to show you because they were customers. And so I was working to get them done and then got them off to them. So I'm going to post some pictures here as I'm talking about them. I used my own hand-dyed yarn in my sock base, which is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and it's the buckskin colorway. So the first pair of socks that you see here, and actually I didn't take any pictures of the third pair of socks, but they're basically identical except that I put a color stripe in the top. So I cast on 12 stitches on each needle, 2 needles. I did these on circular, 2 at a time, circular needles. So I cast on 12 stitches for the first set and then 12 stitches for the second set twice, so 24 stitches total. And then I increased until I had 72 stitches around, and then I knit 8 inches before starting my shadow wrap heel, which adds 2 inches total, so for a total of 10 inches. And then I knit the length of the foot for the leg before putting on my ribbing. So I did that on the first set and the third set. Those were both fingering weight, if I forgot to mention that. The second pair, the gentleman is hunting this season, and so he wanted thick socks. So basically what I did was I held 2 of the fingering weights together to make a thicker pair. So that would be more DK to sport weight. So I cast on the same stitches, 12 stitches. I did those DPNs, so singular. The neighbor dog is barking. I did those singular, and so I cast on the same 24 stitches on 12 on this needle, 12 on this needle, and then I increased to 64 stitches, and then I knit in the round for 8 inches before doing my heel, same heel, the shadow wrapped heel. And then I also knit the length of the leg slightly longer than the length of the foot. So they're nice and tall, they can go into his boots, and he was really happy with them. So then I cast on the third pair, which was the fingering weight for the first guy, the first client. So he got 2 pairs, the one guy got 1 thick pair. And they love them. So I hope they work well for their hunting season this year. That's it for socks that I've knit. Let's talk about my Potomac Worsted Cardigan. I have come quite a ways on it. So let's show you that. I can't remember where I was in my last episode. Oh, yeah, of course I remember. I did a little tutorial on how to join, how to pick up both sleeves for knitting in the round, 2 at a time. And this is what I have. Looks like this. And as you can see, I've come quite a long ways. This was the joining part here. So I don't know how many inches that is. 8 maybe a little longer. So this is the Potomac Worsted by Nitty McPurley. She's here on YouTube, and she has her own, she hand dyes yarn, and she does patterns. So she does it all. This is, so what she has you do is turn the cardigan inside out so that you're knitting the sleeve instead of purling the sleeve, which is great. So this is actually going to be the right side of the cardigan. It's going to be this knit, but then the sleeve is going to be the reverse of that. This is the purl side. So I'll pull the sleeve out here and it'll be reverse. Yeah. So I'm almost done with that. It hits me just below my elbow. So I have probably 3 more inches before I'm going to start the cuff. And it goes pretty fast. This is worsted weight yarn. And this is my own hand dyed worsted weight yarn. It's this is superwash, and I dyed it in the I just dyed a gray, and I am alternating skeins on the body but not on the sleeves because I don't feel like you're going to be able to tell that there's any color variation on the sleeve. So, and can you tell that there is some on the body? There's a little bit. But with alternating skeins, it doesn't pool. So, that's a tip. So once, excuse me, once I've done the sleeve, I'm going to pick up for the collar, and it goes all the way around. It's like 300 stitches. All the way around, and then you knit for 3 inches. So I have tried this on. It fits really well. It hits on just below my bum, which is kind of what I wanted for dresses and things like that. It's really warm. It's cooled down here in Spokane, Washington for at least 10 days. It's been cool. So it's been nice actually picking this up and putting it, it sits on my lap while I'm knitting it. It keeps me warm. It's wonderful. So I am coming quite fast, I think, with this. Should be done. I was hoping to get it done and ready for the fall weather, which it hasn't quite hit fully yet. So maybe I have time to get it done. We'll see. That is it. Oh no, because then I have to put on, the pockets. And I knit those first as a gauge swatch for my cardigan. Actually, I think it goes like this. So this part is on the outside. The purl side is out. So I do have to sew those on. That'll probably be the last thing I do. Okay, that's it for my Potomac Worsted Cardigan. I now want to talk a little bit about a dyeing experiment that I did. I also have some video of that process, so I'm going to put that in here. So my sister-in-law, Christy, was visiting from Virginia this summer, and she texted a little earlier and said, hey, would you like mulberries for a dyeing project? And I said, sure. I didn't really have any idea what mulberries were, but they're off of a bush local to Virginia, and they are the size of a blueberry, maybe a little bit smaller. And she gave me a pound of them. So what I did was I cooked them down, pulled all the color out, and then I dyed 10 skeins of yarn. 5 in my fingering weight sock yarn, and 5 in my organic worsted. So I hope you enjoy the vlog. Good morning. It is Wednesday, August 23rd, and I am prepping for dyeing yarn. My sister-in-law from Virginia, she brought this summer mulberries that grow in Virginia, and this is 1 pound, I'm going to boil them down and simmer them until all the color is leached out of the berries. Then I'm going to dye yarn with that. These look amazing. Look at all the color in the bag. So I'm actually going to rinse the bag and dump it in here, the water, to see if we can get all the color that's in there out. Now, I don't know how much yarn this is going to dye, and that's the best part, experimentation. So, let's fill these up. All right, now I'm going to fill this pot mostly full. I might leave about 1 inch on the top, because as it's cooking, some of the water will cook out of it. So, okay, I have about 1 inch left. I'm going to cook it on high until I get it to a boil. And then from there we'll simmer. We'll start with a couple hours. I'll kind of check the berries as I go to see if color is still pulling from them, to kind of determine simmering all day or whatnot. So let's start with a boil and then we'll go from there. Alright, today is Thursday and I've prepped some yarn, some fingering weight sock yarn. I've prepped to dye with this mulberry, and I've cooked the mulberry down several hours, and it already has a very rich purpley color. So I'm straining it. I don't know how much I'm going to need. I'm just going to kind of go by feel or by look. This is what I have so far. This I think is a quart. You can see that it's dark and it's a great color. So I'm going to mix it in here. It's kind of a wine color. So we'll see how that turns out. And it has made the pot dark. I'm going to go ahead and strain out another liter, just because I want the color to be pretty saturated. And I have learned that soft yarn, because of the nylon, it takes color really well. So, and then we're going to put this on medium, bring the temperature up, and let's go ahead and add the fingering weight yarn. All right, are you guys ready to see the amazing color? Look at that. Lovely purple. So it's pretty light right now, so by but there's also a lot of color in the pot. So I'm going to add, I'm doing 500 grams, which is 5 skeins of yarn, and I'm going to heat it to 160 and then cook it for 30 minutes to 45 minutes, watching the water to make sure it clears. Once the water clears, I'll have a better understanding of how much dye was bleached into the yarn. If it's still too light, I have enough. I'm just going to add more. So I'll keep you posted on that. Oh, this is just going to be beautiful. I can already tell. Okay, so 5 skeins are in. Let's heat it to 160 and we'll go from there. Yeah. Onwards and upwards. I did want to just address how you can dye naturally so long as you have your yarn mordanted with amazing things. Coming up next, I'm going to be dyeing with lichen that my sister collected from the woods in her area. So there's a lot that you can dye with, and I think that is part of the enjoyment and the fun that I find in dyeing bare yarn is with natural products. This is what you can get. This is what you can enjoy. There won't be many more out there like it, which I think is fun. So, all right, I hope you enjoyed that. Let's do the reveal. Ta-da! Here they are. This is the fingering weight sock yarn. And you can kind of see, obviously, it's not purple like the bath, the dye bath would have you believe. It came out this kind of bluish, greeny gray. But isn't it pretty? I just love it. It was, it's very even throughout the skein, which is nice. It's a very pretty, different shade of gray than what I've gotten in the past. So I liked the green part of it kind of popped in there. So that's my fingering weight. This is the organic worsted. And they're pretty similar, actually. It covered really well, even though organic. So this has nylon in it, which tends to take color a little more saturated. And I guess if you look at it really close, you can kind of see that, yes, the sock yarn is a little more saturated, but it's so subtle that, you know, it's really hard to tell. This one took on a little bit more of the green, I feel like, the greenish hue in it. And again, I'm a little surprised that there's no purple, because the dye bath was very purple. In fact, it was a bright, bright purple. But I'm not unhappy with it. It's very pretty. I went ahead and named both these colorways Mulberry because I felt like it fit. It was dyed with mulberry and yeah, kind of fun. So I hope you enjoyed that little vlog where I take you along on the dyeing process of this. I'm really happy with the results. And these are in the shop if you're interested. That's all I have for you this week. I hope you all have a wonderful day. And we are in full swing of school here. So it's quiet today because he's off in his, he goes one day a week to a enrichment program. And so he's off doing that today. So I get to edit this vlog and do some tidying up. So I hope you all have a great day. Enjoy your September, and I'll see you